Hello and good day, good viber. How are you doing? Well, I wanted to start off by saying that in this live, we're probably going to take our time. It's going to be relatively quick, and I'm just going to share the tea on what I've learned with learning. Now, if you didn't know, I was homeschooled up until the age of 14, and I pretty much had to teach myself a lot of things, and it's something that I'm so thankful that I was blessed with these skills, and it's really helped me in so many ways. So I wanted to share a little bit of what that looks like to encourage you, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, to keep learning. Okay, so let's get into it. So first off, when I was homeschooled, what I learned from learning is that you need to pace yourself and figure out what topic when you to ask for help, pretty much, because it's me and my 4 other siblings and my one mother who is homeschooling us. Of course, she couldn't really give us all individual attention all the time, and a lot of the time she would just tell us, okay, read this, do the work. And herself, coming from Jamaica, I think sometimes, like, if she doesn't know how to do something, then it's really up to you to figure it out. And that was something that instilled the sense of, like, personal accountability with my own knowledge and understanding, I guess. It was something I never really thought of until really looking back at it and realizing that, okay, if mom can't really help me that much with this, and I'm seeing that she's going through the process of teaching herself so that she can teach me, eventually it just became me teaching myself because I had observed her enough to know how to do it. So yeah, that's been a big one, just taking accountability for what I'm supposed to learn or what I'm here to learn, and not really depending too much on others to show me the way, but trusting that there's always help. Now, this was before, like, internet age where we actually, like, Google things. It just sounds so weird saying it now. Like, it was just like the school book. What I've also learned by being homeschooled and in general is that cheating is okay. Now, that sounds bad, but let's just put this practically in real life. And okay, actually, no, cheating is not good in relationships, but let me see if I can reword it. So traditionally speaking, cheating would be like looking up the answers on a test or for your homework or for the work that's assigned for you and doing it. Now, this is probably going to get a lot of hate, but I personally, in America, I feel like there's so much weight on the grade system when it comes to learning and testing people to see if they actually learn. But in reality, in real life, like, you know, those math equations that you do, you have your phone and you have other resources and other people that are there to help you. So, I mean, yeah, you know, maybe we're relying too much on our phones, but even before this, when I was homeschooled, all of the answers were in the back of the book. So it kind of was more of, if you're struggling with something, then the answers are in the back of the book. But if you know it, then you'll just do it. And so it actually helped me understand what I was struggling with, and then I would have the answers to better understand it. Again, I'm not encouraging anybody to cheat, although I will say, even when I started going to school and I was in all honors classes, there was a lot of these kids really cared more about the grade than actually learning the subject. And that to me was a little bit discouraging. I've never really cared about grades, thank God. It doesn't really make that much sense to me. It's more important to learn the material, and sometimes that means being able to reference it when you're testing yourself on the knowledge to know, okay, this is what I need to look at. In real life, I've learned that at least the traditional way of cheating when it comes to looking up the answers so that you can get a better grade on the test is something that I guess I do, you know, like working with other people. I don't know all the answers off the book, you know, doing web development and all this other stuff. It's not like I have all the answers all the time. but the answers are out there. So this sounds really bad, but I mean it in like the most positive way. Being able to find the answers when they are needed has been a big thing I have learned, and not beating myself up for not knowing everything, because that's like, nobody knows everything. So that's been a big one, and there's a little piece of grass that's just waving hello, like, it's awesome. But yeah, so onward, what I have really learned from learning is discipline. Now, discipline was something that I did lack discipline at a moment. And when you struggle with discipline and it comes to learning, I think that for me, it manifested as being really frustrated at whatever I was learning because I didn't know it. And just not caring, right? But I've learned through discipline, it's also like kind of humbling me to seek out the answers and not get so frustrated if I'm struggling to find the answers. But like actively have a process and a system to identify what is it that I don't understand or I'm struggling to understand and know and learn. How am I going about, how do other people go about learning this, and how can I like implement and design a system that works for me? I think that discipline also just manifests in actually doing the work, like actually every day pushing myself to learn something new, whether it's a new word or a new person's story, or just like a new fact that I find interesting. I think that the cool part about learning is that we all like to learn different things. Like some people really like to learn more about music, while other people may really like to learn more about like the gaming history or something like that. So we all have different passions and interests, and that really comes through with learning and how engaged and interested we are with learning. Okay, here are some bonus tips, because I actually did a lot of research on how people best learn for my own research purposes and to learn more about how to become a better learner. And it really comes down to engagement and how much you can put all of your senses into that learning experience. You know, some people say that they're like a visual learner, some people are more an audible learner, some people need like to do work to learn. And I think the best form of learning is when you are immersed in all of your senses. So you're hearing, you're seeing, you're doing, you're tasting, smelling, like all of the senses are in some way engaged. And a touch on tasting and smelling for me, whenever I needed to like focus and get work done, I would chew mint gum. It was like this little trigger in my mind that I knew, like, if I chew mint gum, that means that it's time for me to like do work and sit down and focus. And so it just automatically puts me into this space of I'm ready to engage and learn. So yeah, engaging with all of the senses really helped making like learning a lot more easy. And that's why, even though throughout our whole lives we're always learning, but we don't maybe consider it like we're learning because it's just living life, but we're receiving all of the information from our sensory inputs, and then we're being able to process it, and yeah, we're learning. I've also learned, now that we're more into the physical aspect of our body, is the beauty of learning and how it increases neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity, as you all know, or is when your brain is pretty much just creating all of these neural pathways and patterns and able to connect the dots. And the more dots that you can connect in your brain, kind of like a seed, the easier it is for you to have more creativity with whatever you're doing, because you are creating these more pathways. Like this, it just opens potential and possibility, and your understanding of topics becomes a lot easier. That's why for babies and kids, like, it's a lot easier for them to learn languages because their neuroplasticity is very high up until the age of 7, where it starts to, for most people, slow down. But the process of learning something new and doing spontaneous things can increase your neuroplasticity and overall your brain health. And it's a lot easier for you to learn things because your brain is just more naturally attuned to making these connections. So actually just the process of learning new things has helped me learn new things faster and in a more efficient way. It's really cool how that works. And yeah, it pushes me to like just do something spontaneous or learn something new every day, knowing that that's gonna help me in the long run be able to learn more and to connect the dots more with everything in the world and how I'm perceiving it. So yes, okay, that I want to say that's the tea out here. Like, what have you learned from learning? Oh, I've also learned from learning, how could I forget, is like one of the most important things that have helped teach me the most, and with my own process to stay accountable with learning and like implementing information, teaching others. Like, making this video really helps me reflect on how I have learned and how I want to continue to learn and what kind of comes up there. So teaching others has been a big one. I mean, that's why I love online courses, because once I feel like I've mastered or really understood a topic and I feel confident enough to share that information with others, then I get to validate and talk even more with people about it, learn more about the topic, as well as teach others. This has been a really big thing for me that I'm so thankful. Even in school, being able to help like the kid next to me, the desk next to me, if I understood a problem, just further help me understand a problem. So teaching others has been so amazing to my own personal learning journey, and being able to just take all that information and actually apply it in some way. Like, I feel like that's the best test that you can do. It's showing that you know something because you can teach somebody else about it, be it a 5-year-old or a 50-year-old, right? So like, that is the ultimate test. Like, that's how we should test each other. I won't get too much into it, but yeah, like, wonderful. So that's what I've learned from learning. I really do enjoy being a lifelong learner, and somebody who, I mean, like many people, find joy in just being able to learn new things about the world around us while we're in it, and enjoy the process of applying the knowledge and understanding to life. I think that's the funnest part, when you're able to take what you learn or have learned and just see it grow somehow in life, whether you're teaching someone or actively applying what you learned. It's just very rewarding, and you always have those neural connections that you've created from learning something. So yeah, this is that. Yeah, that's what I learned from learning. If you have learned from learning, what have you learned? Oh, that sounds it sounds like a tongue twister, but I would love to know. Thank you so much for joining today's live chat, today's little video about learning. I thank you and I honor you, and I appreciate you, fam. I pray that you enjoy the rest of your day and learn something new today. Teach somebody something new, okay? Like, I don't know what it is. Or let me know a new word. If you've been learning what's your favorite word, all the learning is going to happen. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any future suggestions, and I will see you in the next video. Namaste. God bless.